Lord, I love you more than anything. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, I love you. I love you. Thank you, God. Jesus went to Calvary to save a wretch like you and me. That's love. That's love. They hung him high. They stretched him wide. He hung his head for me. He died. That's love. That's love. But that's not how the story is. 3 days later, he rose again. That's love. That's love. That's love. That's love. That's love. That's love.
I'm gonna sing a song right Thank you for joining us for today's Christian Magazine. Trust you enjoyed the selection by Endurance from Chesapeake, Virginia. They joined us at Apostolic Renewal 2014. And of course, we're going to have them come back at another engagement or another opportunity that we decide as the Lord leads us to maybe bring another program in this area. Looking forward to that. Really enjoyed it. Everyone was so energetic and highly spirited and were motivated in themselves. So I thank the Lord for allowing us to be in the people of God midst, people who were willing to give their all for the Lord on that day. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. As I was looking at what we were going to talk to you about on this evening, several things ran across my mind, and one in particular about encouraging you all the more to stay in your lane. Do what God has called you to do. As I was been looking around and listening to other ministries, and even on the internet, different types of ministries, and then you have Facebook where people are commenting and giving you their quotes, how the Lord has blessed them. There is no one person who is greater than the other. Even Jesus led to that explanation to his disciples. So, here, let me read this to you. It's from the Gospel of Mark, the 9th chapter. And we're going to start at, I think I was 35th verse. Yes, 35. 9 and 35 exactly. And he sat down and called the 12 and saith unto them, If any man desire to be first, the same shall be last of all and servant of all. Then he went into an explanation. He took a child and set him in the midst of them. And when he had taken him in his arms, he said to them, Whosoever shall receive one of such children in my name, receiveth me. And whosoever shall receive me, receiveth not me, but him that sent me. And John answered him, saying, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name, and he followed not us. And we forbade him, because he followed not us. But Jesus said, Forbid him not, for there is no man which shall do a miracle in my name that can lightly speak of me. For he that is not against us is on our part. Now stop right there. Stop right there. Because of the thought that came to our attention as he was saying there, well, he that is not against us is on our part. He that is not against us is for us. Um, here, the disciples wanted to rebuke a follower of Christ, a believer, because it didn't say that he was a follower of Christ. It just says that they saw one, you know, casting out devils in thy name. It's funny when look at this. They're casting out devils in the name of Christ. And instead of applauding or getting involved in helping him any way that they could, they wanted to stop him because he didn't do it like they wanted him to do it. Basically, he said he's not following us. In other words, he's not doing what we do. They looked past the miracle that was happening and was concentrating on themselves, you know? Like, some people feel like they arrived already once they get a certain status, a certain job. And if you don't do it like they do it to get where they think you should get, then there's something wrong with you. But Jesus said, you know, he does not against us, is for us, you know. And if you are considering someone who just don't worship like you do, but they still worship, it is not for you to condemn or judge that person. It's not your place. You got to concentrate on what God has given you to do, because you don't know who that person is touching. You know, the Bible states clearly that one watered, one planted, one watered, and then God gives the increase. You know? So there's a pattern there. It takes one person to plant the original seed, and someone else can come along and water that seed. And after the seed is watered, then God can come in and bring it to fruition or to blossom to where it's supposed to be. You know, God gives the increase. See, we are given the task or the duty just to be examples, to leave a note to a person. Just you can't do it all. It's not all contained in your one edifice. Or someone to exclude everybody else around them and say that they have the only way to Christ, then you have to examine that and see the person's motives and intentions and watch their fruit, what is going on around them. Of course, sometimes we can get, as people, we can get big-headed when things happen. You know how some people can get excited when they do something and successful in it, and then they want to tell everybody how to do it like they did it. You know, pride is the thing that caused Lucifer, the morning star, to fall out of place. And that is what can cause anyone to fall out of place with God. Pride. Setting yourself up above the great I am. Or, like we say, thinking it's all about you. You know, sometimes we can get caught up in our successes and lose ourselves in them, you know? So that's where we have to be careful. Stay in your lane, though. If God called you to be a missionary, then go in the mission field. Serve. Do all to the will of God. Just because your neighbor is not going to the mission field with you, that don't make them wrong. You know, some people take on responsibilities or they do things, and it's good causes. And but if you don't join that cause, they might look at you funny. You know? Everybody's not called to the mission field, and everyone has a mission, of course. Everyone is not has the duty to evangelize, but all are not evangelists. You know. So as you consider that, remember to stay where God has placed you. Now, what you do is you concentrate on look on the gift that He's given you, and nurture that thing. You know, build it up. Sometimes you may have to step aside from other people and some solitary time to really concentrate on what you have been given to do. Even in the natural world, I'm thinking about Michael Jordan now because it's basketball time. I'm quite sure that Michael Jordan spent some time in his young days all day long, probably on a private basketball court, getting his skills together, honing his skills, making sure he could move and handle that ball, and, do the layups, and you know what I'm saying? That's why he became great in what he did. Now, if you desire to become great in the kingdom, or if you desire just to do the best that you can do, as God has called you in your particular area, then you have to concentrate on the gift, the ability that is in you. Then, as you do that, you will become stronger in that thing. Then you may be the one that plant the seed, and someone else come and water that thing. Because it takes all of us together. It's the body that's fitly joined together. So we know we have different denominations, and people who may consider their denomination sometimes a little greater than others. You can hear it in their talk. But I won't go there. You can hear so many things from people when you just be quiet and listen. They'll speak their heart out to you, and in Christianity, we're supposed to work together. Your denomination is not supposed to be isolated from another because you might think that your denomination is the only one that's right. Years and years ago, there was a problem with that, with people who were Pentecostal holiness, and not saying all, but there were some that were portraying that if you didn't believe in holiness, then you were doomed to hell. Because holiness is the way. Yeah. Not denominational holiness. It's your character. You should be complete in what God has placed you in. Complete in Him. Yes, holy lifestyle. Consecrate yourself. Separate yourself from the world. But not just because it was in those days people lifted up the holiness church, So I kind of went to that because I remember what happens sometimes, and it happens. People can get caught up into what they're doing, get so excited and so overwhelmed in it that nothing else matters. But you can't win other people to Christ if you do that. Paul even said, I've become all things to all men so that I might win some. That means that he knew how to conduct himself when he was among the Jews and Greeks and barbarians. He knew how to conduct himself so that he might win someone or persuade someone, or that someone might see that this way that we live is the right way to go. Can't beat nobody over the head with it. It's a decision that they have to come to. That's why you need to stay in your lane. You can't do it all. You might be the one that sing that gospel song that stir them up, and someone else might come and give the word that build them up. But it's God who put it all together and causes it to become life. And then the Holy Spirit, the helper, the Parakletos, as they say, will step right in. Oh, yes, he will. And give you the help that you need. That's all. So be mindful of that as you go about doing the things that you have to do to live and living, as I often say, this kind of life. We are to be examples to the world because this is not our eternal home. As we look at the signs of the time, soon and very soon, we'll be going to see the King. Yes, indeed. I tell you, it really comes to life to me today. How the saints of old would say those things, and you can see the joy and expression in there, and like the whole countenance will light up when they start talking about the Lord. And you really had to pay attention. You really would. I tell you, saints, let's live the life that we're called to live so we can be examples to this dying world. Because the world around us is crumbling. People are leaving here every day. You know, people are called home. Some people might be leaving early. You don't know. But whenever you get the opportunity to say a word, then say it. You don't have to force it on them because God will open the door of opportunity. If you just wait, and you don't have to say everything. You can't say it all. You can't put it all in them at one time. No. Just listen to the Spirit. The Bible also says, he that winneth souls is wise. So you have to use wisdom when you're speaking to people on what this life is really about. I was talking to a brother, and we have discussions, and he is not a believer, but we have Bible discussions. When he come across a question, he'll call me up or something, he'll ask me, what does this mean? You know, I truly I want to understand this. And talking to him, his family have roots in the church. He is not even considering serving the Lord. He is not even considering it as open up his heart to let Jesus be the Lord of his life. He said he wouldn't go that way. Why would he do that? And sometimes he'll ask me a question, and as I talk to him about it, he said, well, I didn't see it like that. So that's what that really meant, you know. But it's not nothing. I'm not saying anything about me and my ability or whatever, because it's not up to me what it said. Cause I always say a prayer. It's, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. The word of God is power all by itself. So when we ask him to let the words of our mouth, that's what I speak, let my heart be right when I say it. God will give exactly what he desires that person might need, because we don't know. We don't know. And it's just a joy to live this kind of life. It is a joy. Yes, it is. Because God is a keeper. He'll keep your heart, keep your mind. He'll keep your spirit. And for those of you who may have turned your dial this way, and you may be under the influence, don't let that bother you, because see, God gives the increase. See, if you desire to live this kind of life and you are in bondage to anything drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, anything, the lifestyles, you know, God will step right in and open a door, like I said, a way of escape. As you desire, He'll open the right door at the right time. You may not have anything that you consider your own, but God will make a way out of no way. Um, I'm just happy this evening in my spirit because God has really uh, been opening doors for me lately, and even in my condition that I carry, um, He still gives me the strength to go on. And I have to really uh, speak of that sometimes to let people know that God will keep you in the midst of anything. See, He could have chosen to heal me instantly, be it physical or by death. I still would have been healed if I left this life because this body will decay away. You know what I'm saying? And I will be at a greater place. His desire is to give me the opportunity to be here, to talk to you. He opened this door of opportunity, and I just thank Him for it. I really do. God just fashioned and put things in place. He trained me and showed me which way to go. All of these years, things were just coming together. And I didn't know anything about where I sit today as being able to produce television footage. So, because if I had to rely on people, then that would cost a pretty penny to do these things. Well, God gave it to me because I need to know how to do this so that I can put it together like He would lead me to. So I'm thankful of that. I really am. So I really am. I'm living today as an example to those who don't believe that they can make it out of their situation. Trust God. Believe in your heart. You don't have to prove anything to anybody or even tell them your heart's desire in trying to get out of the bondage that you're in. Just lay it before the Lord. So just keep it in your mind, in your spirit. One day it won't be like this always. I know I'll be delivered, And that's what I would say sometimes when I was walking from the drug man. All tired in my body, 3 or 4 days not sleeping, and wanting to get out of it. And for people who have not been there, then they can't explain to you the type of things that you go through. Some people try to equate addictions with what they went through, but they don't know what you go through if they've never walked the same path that you walked. How can I tell somebody how to quit cigarettes and the effect that it'll have, and it's so easy to do if I've never had to fight that cigarette addiction? I can tell you what the book might say. Sure, we can read books. Book learning is good. But it does not always apply to life. You have to have a training in life as well as the books, and that's what they do even in school. They may teach you, but they'll put people on internships so they can learn on-hand experience on how to do this or that. So, stay in your lane, do what God's called you to do, and be happy in what you do. Don't get overburdened because things didn't work out that day. You didn't get it just right. Just do what you can while you can. Leave the rest to God. God gives the increase, not you. Plant the seed, water the seed, and leave the rest to God. And He'll do the same in your life. He'll give the increase in your life. You'll continue to grow and be all that He has called you to be. So that's going to do it for us on this evening. Thank you for joining us. Hope we inspired you by our words, or just by us sitting here talking to you, maybe something that came into your mind and your spirit, how you might live this kind of life. You decide to do something different, and we can help you. We will do just that. Give us a call. follow us on Facebook, send us a question or whatever, you know. If you really want to get in touch with us, you can do it for all the avenues there are today. So we're here for you to help you as only as we can. And if we can't do it, certainly we'll pray and ask for the guidance of God in all that we do, and know that He'll lead us to the right place for someone to help you. So God bless you, God keep you. Thank you for all of our friends who tell us that they watch the program. That's so encouraging to us. Thank you. You know, that's even more than money, you know what I'm saying? Because we know that our living and our working is not in vain. Until the next time, this is Apostle Michael Adams with today's Christian Magazine. We'll see you the next time, all right? God bless.